Hey everyone, James Baek here. Welcome back for another episode of VGC Baek Battles here on the Doubles Battle Spot Ladder. Today we are still using Scar's Mega God of War team as well as the Junior World Championship Kotane, I believe that's her name. With our team of God of War, Amoonguss, Thunderous, Landorus, Tyranitar, and Heatran. We are on a pretty hot streak with this team. This team has done pretty fantastic against the lower ladder. But let's see if it can keep up in today's episode. Sang Seok from the United States with a 1614 rating will be our first opponent of the day. Now, I want to apologize because there was no videos for the past few days. I was sick and had to do some stuff. Actually, while I was sick, I had to shake off some rust. I went to Premier Challenge, got second while I was still a bit under the weather, which I'm like, how? I lost to Paul Chu in the finals. Yeah, I didn't play that great of a finals, but it was definitely a fun set that we had. We both had a blast, and yeah, we should probably do the team preview. I'll do that in the minute mark, but yeah, definitely shaking off the rust. Definitely realized I could have made so many better plays during that PC finals, but I'll take second as it's my first accomplishment at the PC this year. My second PC, getting second, ironically. Let's go over the team though. We got Greninja, Smeargle, Sylveon, Charizard, Aegislash, and Landorus Variant. Now, pretty standard team except with the Smeargle. How do I want to handle Smeargle? Because this team really didn't have a way to handle Smeargle. Actually, I think the only thing that outspeeds Smeargle on this team is Landorus, and that there's a lot of problems with that. I think Thunder's God of War will be my lead. Yeah, I really expect the Greninja to lead, and I can't lead Landorus into that. This is such a bad team matchup. I definitely have to bring Tyranitar in the back. I feel Tyranitar does really well. Do I want to bring Landorus or Heatran? I think I have to bring Heatran just because Heatran gives me an ice resist, so if I have to deal with the Greninja, I can switch out into the Heatran to take the Ice Beam. And there's also the fact that I don't like Landorus against a Sylveon and an Aegislash. Sylveon Smeargle is actually going to be my opponent's lead, which, you know what, I'll take it. As Sylveon God of War will be my lead, I'm going to trace the Pixelate, so unfortunately I don't get to see what kind of Smeargle this is, if it's moody or not. Now, most funders carry Taunt, but my opponent might recognize his team, so I don't know if he thinks that I have Taunt or not. I'm making my best plays just to go for the Thunder Wave, and do I Mega Ball Protect? I could go for the Hyper Voice if I predict him to protect. I really don't think he's going to protect though, because this is Scar's World's team, this is Katone's World team. Everyone should know this team. Everyone should know that Thunders carries the... Oh, but it's actually going to be the Helping Hand. Interesting. So we're going to see Helping Hand from Smeargle, which I am completely fine with. It's better than a Dark Void coming my Thunders' way. Hyper Voice shouldn't knock out this Thunders because it is carrying a lot of special bulk. There's the Thunder Wave onto the Smeargle. That means I can outspeed it with both my Pokemon and knock it out. There's the Hyper Voice. Gonna hit my Thunders, which is gonna do, oh my, that was so much damage. I'm guessing it's Choice Specs. The Citrus Berry is gonna pop. The Smeargle's Moody is gonna activate. It's gonna get an Accuracy Raise and an Attack Drop. Now, there are two plays my opponent can make. He can go for the Hyper Voice again, which I could definitely see. My opponent can also go, well, for the Helping Hand Hyper Voice, he could also Spiky Shield with the Smeargle. But I think I don't need Thunders for this game, do I? I really don't. I think I'm just going to Thunderbolt Smeargle and go for the Hyper Voice. Even if he Spiky Shield, there's a chance he's parried. If he switches out, I don't know what he can switch into other than Landorus that doesn't want to take a Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice might be a 3 KO on Sylveon, 2 if I go for the Thunderbolt. He doesn't King Shield or Spiky Shield though. Thunderbolt, gonna take it down. Hyper Voice, gonna connect. And even that is huge, just because no Helping Hand boost. He's gonna knock on my Thunders, but I just am fine with that trade. I'm fine with that trade-off. But, oh, but a critical hit on God of War makes it like he used Helping Hand. Really unfortunate. That really stinks. I'm going to bring on my Heatran. There's no way that's not Spec Sylveon. as Charizard is going to come out for my opponent, which I am completely fine with. Heatran's going to come out, and I can just launch a Sun Boosted Heat Wave, or he might. Okay, so Sylveon really can't touch my Heatran right now. That's huge. I would assume Lander's in the back, because he really can't touch my team unless that's Hidden Power Ground Charizard. So 2 plays my opponent can make, I think. I think Sylveon's definitely got to switch out. I mean, if he wants to Hyper Voice, go for it. It's not going to do much to the Heatran unless he has Hidden Power Ground on Charizard, which would make sense. I don't think this is the kind of player who would have it, though. I would expect the Sylveon to switch it into Landers, but he can non-Mega Ball Flamethrower Heat Wave or Solar Beam, or he can Mega Ball Solar Beam / Flamethrower to Gardevoir, which would make sense. I actually don't think I'll protect with Gardevoir, just because if I can knock out the Landers, it will give me huge momentum. There's the Sylveon switching out, probably into the Landers. There's the Landers coming out. Does Charizard Mega Evolve or no? And let's see if it protects or not. I would assume protect non-Mega Evolve, just because my Tyranitar can come in. But he's actually going to Mega Evolve, which is an interesting decision on my opponent's part. Maybe protecting Gardevoir would have been the better play, but you usually don't Mega Evolve Charizard when there's a Tyranitar possibility out there. So we'll see what happens. Dragon Pulse into the Gardevoir. What are you doing? What are you doing? Who runs Dragon Pulse on Charizard? Hello? There's the Heat Wave. Gonna barely miss the Landers, but that is fine. What is my opponent thinking? What's my opponent thinking? That's definitely solved as Landers, by the way, if you guys don't know. I think I'm just gonna Heat Wave Protect. I have no reason not to. That was a really bad play on my opponent's part. I cannot believe he made that mistake. I'm protecting because even if he double attacks the Heatran and won't knock it out, I do have the Shucker Berry. There's the Solar Beam, which he should have probably went for in the first place, into the Gardevoir. There's the Earthquake coming out. I do have Shucker Berry, so unless he crits me, and he's not Choice Banded, he's not KOing me unless he gets a crit, well, Heat Wave can miss, which would be unfortunate. But there we go. Heatran taking that like a champion. Here's the Heat Wave coming out. Gonna do massive amounts of damage to this Landers and to the Charizard, almost picking up the knockout. Critical hit on Landers does not matter, people. And let's see. Sylveon's gonna come out. I wonder if a Sun Boosted Heat Wave will knock out the Sylveon. I would assume Sun Boosted Overheat might knock out the Sylveon, actually. I am max special attack. Do I risk it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, I'm just gonna Hyper Voice and Overheat the Sylveon. Charizard's actually gonna protect, which is perfect. Don't know why you would protect. Here's the Hyper Voice coming through. If we hit this Overheat, we win the game. If we miss, that might cost us the game. This game. There's the Hyper Voice knocking out both my Pokemon. It's a critical hit on the Heatran too, so I think the crit might have actually mattered. Oh, but that sucks. Now I have to hope that Tyranitar can live a single target. Choice Specs Hyper Voice, which, unless the Sylveon's slower, I highly doubt that. Unless it's minimum speed Sylveon, we lose. Oh man, my opponent getting really lucky with the critical hit on that Gardevoir, plus the Overheat miss. Here we go, we're going for the Rock Slide. We're going for the Rock Slide. There's no other play I can make. Really unfortunate about this game. I think I played this pretty well until that one point where it was just specifically... Either way, I could have won if the crit didn't happen, or if the Overheat didn't miss. One of those factors, they both mattered, unfortunately, so that is quite upsetting. Actually, this is probably my first loss on Valspot, and I had an undefeated record. I think I was like 9-0 or 10-0, which sucks. He's actually going to go for the Solar Beam, which makes no sense. I don't think we're living the Choice Specs Hyper Voice, though, and if we do, I will be happy. Of course. Of course. You lived the Hyper Voice Tyranitar, but then you missed the Rock Slide. Wow. As the Live Room's going to take us down. If we connected with that Sylveon, we would have definitely knocked it out. The Rocks, and we would have won 0-0, but nope. Oh, man. This this game sometimes. But, you know what, that's the game we play. RNG will always happen. Unfortunately, it's why I don't like using this many inaccurate moves. I think this team has 5 or 6 inaccurate moves, if I want to say. Unfortunate first battle. Let's hope we get lucky in our second battle. Let's try to win the next battle. And unfortunately, that breaks our undefeated streak. And my undefeated streak on Battle Spot. Andre from the United Kingdom with a 1588 rating will be our second opponent of the day. Oh, look, another Sylveon. Please don't hack me, but my opponent's got the team of Raichu, Sylveon, Latias, Arcanine for Rafford, and Blastoise. Just a bit confused about this team, wondering which one will be the Mega. 2 possible Mega Evolutions, the Blastoise and the Latias. I'm really wondering what kind of variants these Pokemon are. Arcanine, 2 options. The support Arcanine with Will-O-Wisp and, you know, possibly Snarl. And of course, there's the offensive Choice Band Arcanine. You guys know me for using it. Still wondering which one's the Mega. I mean, Latias, I would assume, would be carrying Tailwind on the team like this. I would definitely say Mega Blastoise. Blastoise is usually always definitely a Mega, unless it's Water Spout. Not Water Spout now. Follow Me Blastoise, which is now legal on the Doubles Battle Spot. It's not legal in VGC currently yet, though. So that could be annoying if it's that, but it's not really going to help my opponent out in any case. I think Gardevoir is the right call here. Gardevoir, maybe Landorus? I don't feel like leading Thundurus will be good just because the Raichu can switch in at any moment, and Raichu's usually a good lead for my opponents. Do I have to bring Heatran or do I have to bring Tyranitar? I could bring either one of them. I think Gardevoir Moongus actually might be my safest lead. I like that lead a lot. Do I bring Landorus? Landorus doesn't really help much. It just intimidates. Heatran definitely in the back coming. I'm really scared this Latias carries Rain Dance still. And I think I'm going to bring Tyranitar as my last Pokemon. I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to bring Tyranitar just because if that is a Choice Banded Arcanine, it has to target either my Heatran or Tyranitar with a close combat. And, I mean, yeah, you can KO one of them, but you can't KO the other unless I don't have them out at the same time, which would be unfortunate. Gardevoir Moongus will lead. I wouldn't be surprised if he led the Arcanine. Really wouldn't be surprised. My opponent's leading Raichu Sylveon, which is absolutely fine by me. So I'm going to get to trace the Lightning Rod. Awesome. That means nothing when he's going for a fake out, but at least if he tried to go for like a Volt Tackle or something, he's not going for a first turn. I think my best play is just to Hyper Voice, Mega Ball. I don't want to double protect because Raichu's a Pokemon that can carry either the moves Faint or Encore, which would be detrimental, especially if this is Safety Goggles. I can't Rage Powder it because I was thinking I could double protect and then Rage Powder Hyper Voice the following turn. That really doesn't help me if that's Safety Goggles though, so I think I'm just going to go for the Spore onto Sylveon. There's a chance it might be the Chestoberry Sylveon. It's kind of rare though. I think only like one notable player used it. I think Aaron Zhang used it, but it really isn't that good in my opinion. Just because Resto Chesto Sylveon, I mean, it's kind of like the problem with most Sylveons now. If you just don't run an offensive item, such as Pixie Plate or Life Orb, you just don't do the damage, and you need to get the Calm Minds up. And sometimes you're not going to be able to get those Calm Minds up, and that's actually quite often, as a lot of Pokemon are trying to put pressure on the Sylveon. We are going to Mega Ball with our Gardevoir, though. Helping Hand's actually going to come out from the Raichu onto the Sylveon. We did learn that a crit Hyper Voice from Specs Sylveon can't knock out our Gardevoir. Shadow Ball might. It's actually going to be the Side Shock, which is fine because we are physically defensive Amoonguss. As we do live with 3 HP, ironically, we do get the Spore off onto the Sylveon, which is perfect. And Sylveon is going to be taking a bit of a cat nap, and it's guaranteed 1 turn of sleep. So I could Trick Room right here. I don't see anything wrong with Trick Rooming. The only problem is, well, that definitely has to be Specs damage. As you guys saw, it's definitely Choice Specs Sylveon just because it went for the Side Shock. Helping Hand did that much to a physically defensive Amoonguss. I think I'm just going to go for the Hyper Voice, try and knock out this Raichu, and I will. And I think I'll switch out Amoonguss into the Heatran in case Sylveon might want to try to switch out into Ferrothorn. Obviously, Blastoise is not a switch into a Hyper Voice, especially if it's the Water Spout variant. You want to conserve your HP. I've never heard of a Water Spout normal Blastoise on a competitive team. Well, Water Spout Mega Blastoise on a competitive VGC team. Singles, maybe. I think he still runs Scald or Hydro Pump. I'm pretty sure he runs Hydro Pump, but still. Sylveon's actually not going to switch out. He's going to try to take that turn of sleep. Heatran's going to come out, which is fine. He's probably going to try to get rid of the Mungus. He's actually going to protect with Raichu, which actually gives me a lot of momentum right here. A Hyper Voice is going to come through, damage to Sylveon, do a lot of damage. I don't think another Hyper Voice will knock out the Sylveon guaranteed, but a Heat Wave Hyper Voice will. He can't really switch out. He's not going to, Thunderbolt's not going to damage my Pokemon really. If he wants to switch out, that's fine. He takes a lot of damage. Blastoise is only switching. I'm guessing he brought Ferrothorn in the back. Ferrothorn's not exactly a counter. It really isn't a counter to my team. But I do have to preserve the Heatran if Ferrothorn's in the back, or I have to get a lot of chip damage onto the Ferrothorn where a low kick from my Life Orb Tyranitar can knock it out. So I am playing this condition basically where it's Ferrothorn and Blastoise. He's actually going to switch out now. Sylveon's actually going to switch out now. Kind of surprising. The Arcanine's going to come out though. But that means he either didn't bring out Blastoise or Ferrothorn. And both of those are threats together. So as long as one of them isn't here, we are good. Thunderbolt going to connect with the Heatran. Do a good amount of damage. Here's the Hyper Voice coming out, doing a lot to these two Pokemon. There goes the Raichu. I kind of wish if he didn't bring Ferrothorn, I kind of wish I did go for the Trick Room. Heat Wave is going to come out though, target down this Arcanine, doing so much damage. I don't think that is, I think that's offensive. I can't guarantee tell though. But Blastoise is going to come out, so it looks like my Tyranitar is quite useless in this matchup. What do I want to do here? I kind of just want to double protect the Scout. Yeah, I'm just going to double protect the Scout off what he's going to do. I really want to see what kind of Arcanine this is. I want to see if it's the offensive Arcanine or if it's the defensive Arcanine, because Flare Blitz Choice Bandit might actually be able to take out our Gardevoir. Oh, but Arcanine's going to protect, so we at least know it's not Choice Bandit, and if it isn't Choice Bandit, I'm pretty sure we do live a hit. I kind of wish we did get the Hyper Voice off though, that kind of stinks, but let's see what kind of Blastoise this is, how much speed it is, well not speed, but what kind of attack it's going for. It's going for the Water Spout, going to not hit both my Pokemon, but it will next turn. Unfortunately, we are quite slow, so if this is Max Speed Blastoise, it's going to hurt a lot. It doesn't have to be Max Speed Blastoise though, just because you do have a Latias who I'm assuming is Tailwind, but at least we know it's not Follow Me Blastoise, because Water Spout and Follow Me are incompatible. Oh, but he does carry the Flare Blitz. Gonna target down my Gardevoir. I think we should live though. Oh, we actually don't live. That's Life Orb? Yeah, that's Life Orb. I might have misplayed there. I thought we would be able to live that because I live with Choice Bandit, Talonflame's Great Bird. But then again, it's an Arcanine. We're going to be eating a single target Water Spout for our troubles though. There it is. That is a huge problem. We are down. We are down. We have a Tyranitar and then the Mungus. Really, really problematic here. Sylveon's going to come out. And this is going to take a lot of thinking on my part in order for us to come back from this. I cannot believe I made that mistake. I should have went for the Trick Room while I had the chance. That would have guaranteed our win because Hyper Voice and Rock Slide would have just won us the game. I could have also switched out into my Tyranitar for him to take the recoil damage. So our only choice is to Rock Slide. I really think he Ice Beams the Amoonguss, so I'm going to protect the Amoonguss. I need Sylveon to stay asleep for one turn. I'm predicting the Ice Beam into the Amoonguss slot. Ah, he's going for the Water Spout though. If Sylveon wakes up, we're finished. That Water Spout does so much. The Sylveon is going to stay asleep though, which is good. Can we hit both Rock Slides? We do connect with both Rock Slides, unlike the last game, unfortunately. That Rock Slide does so much damage. It's a critical hit on Blastoise. That is huge. That is huge. That is really huge. Sandstorm's gonna take away some health from the Blastoise and my Amoonguss, but our Amoonguss should live a water spout. He has to go for Ice Beam if he wants to knock out the Amoonguss. I'm gonna go for the single target crunch onto the Blastoise, and I'm gonna Spore the Blastoise as well. No matter who he targets, he's gonna target my Amoonguss, which is fine because now I get a single target crunch off. I think crunch will knock out the Blastoise, and if it doesn't, I think 2 turns of Sandstorm will guarantee knock it out. Here's the crunch going onto the Blastoise. There we go. The Blastoise is gone. We're going to take a second win thanks to a lucky crit. But hey, the last battle, I think we deserve it. I definitely did not play the best. I probably should have figured, you know, I'm kind of really surprised he didn't bring the Ferrothorn. That was a really confusing part. Because I think if he had Ferrothorn and Blastoise, I would have had so much pressure on me. It would have been really hard for me to come back. But Arcanine Blastoise did put a lot of pressure, not gonna lie. And yeah, I definitely have to be worried about that in the future. Now we know it's probably an Adamant Life Orb Arcanine because it did KO my... Well, it was... I think it's Adamant. We know it was a Life Orb. It definitely did. I can't believe that killed my Gardevoir, to be honest. I'm actually running a different spread than Scar that's actually more physically defensive, so I'm really surprised that knocked us out from full. But I guess it depended on if the Gardevoir outsped the Blastoise. If the Gardevoir outsped the Blastoise, we would have probably guaranteed our win. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this VGC episode. Lots of luck in both sides today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out the rest of my stuff. I'm going to be streaming soon on Twitch. Gonna try to resume streaming after being sick. Gonna actually try to push it like this YouTube series. Gonna be working more on VGC videos now that I'm back. Almost at full recovery. And I'll see you guys next time. Check out my links down below.